Hey, restaurant owners, operators, and managers. Ryan Gronfman here with The Restaurant Boss. Today, I'm going to give you a formula, a recipe, if you want to call it, to taking advantage of the amazing opportunities that are presenting themselves in the world today. Times are tough right now. I get it. You might be a little nervous. I get it. You might be challenged. I get it. But more wealth is created in times of uncertainty than in times of certainty. The opportunity is there for you. But there is a pattern, there is a formula for those who are going to take advantage of this incredible opportunity in front of you right now. And then there's everybody else that's going to kind of hide away into a corner and come up with excuses. So let's talk about that right now. I'm coming to you live from the world headquarters of The Restaurant Boss and Click Bacon here in my home office just outside Austin, Texas. It is April 24th. 2025. Let's get into it. Number one, I call this breaking the pattern. Breaking the pattern is about creating a vision that you can see beyond your current circumstance. You may be in a world of stress, struggle, and overwhelm, but if you can't see a world of more freedom, more money, and more joy, you're never going to take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. If you're in a world of chaos right now and you can't see a world of calmness, you're never going to take advantage of the opportunities. If you're in a world of team members coming in late, team members calling out, constant team member trouble, cost of goods sold trouble, not making any money, not understanding your finances, and you can't see a world where people are excited to come to work, where people show up early, where people do the jobs that they're expected to do, where you have training systems in place and they follow them. I'm not talking about a perfect world. I'm just talking about if you can't even see that world, then you're never going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. So you have to break the pattern you're in. You have to create this vision where you can see past your current circumstance. I work with a client who is so stuck in their restaurant that it was taken over by his father. He's middle-aged right now, so he's been in this restaurant for 30 years. His father's been running it for 50, and it's not doing great. Now, fortunately, he has some other investments, so he doesn't rely on this for his income, and it's a good thing. But I'm going to bring that back here. When I get to number two, I'm going to tell you why that's important. But for right now, the challenge is it's taken me a while, but we finally got him to a place where now when I talk about things, instead of him saying, yeah, but that won't work because of this, that won't work because of that, he's like, Ryan, I tried that, it worked. Ryan, I tried that, it worked. He fought me for so long, but then finally we broke through, and now we've been trying to get some new concepts and new restaurants open for a while, but every time it came close to signing a lease or close to making an investment, he backed out. Now that he's putting some of these things in place in his restaurant, he can start to see a world beyond the chaos he's in. And he's more excited and more ambitious now than ever before. We're creating a new concept. We're probably going to have a lease signed here in the next couple months. But I had to break his pattern. Number two, and I'm going to come back to the guy I just talked to you about in a second. But number two, I call it a big enough why. Find your why. Find someone or something to fight for. Tony Robbins says when the why is strong enough, the how doesn't matter. You need a reason to fight. If you are comfortable and don't have a reason to fight, you will not fight. It is a dog-eat-dog battle out there every day. It is World War I, trench warfare. Everyone is trying to kill you. You've got to fight. You've got to be willing to fight. If you think this is just an easy business, walk in the park, everything's going to be great, I'm going to buy that restaurant, I'm going to fix it up, and I'm going to stamp it out and open up 100 of them, you are wrong. Now, you may do that, but it is going to be a fight every day. And so before I get back to this other client, I had another client who inherited a little bit of money, young guy, 24 years old, opened up a pizzeria, inherited a little bit of money when his father unfortunately passed away very young, and was sitting on a bunch of cash. And I couldn't get this guy to do the work I needed him to do. I know he wanted to, and I know he said he did, but he was just out and playing around and having fun and going out to dinner with his friends and kind of ignoring his duties. And so I said to him one day, I said, I know you're a risk taker. I know you're a little bit of a gambler. I said, how much money you got saved up? And he gave me the number. And I said, I want you to go buy an apartment building. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I want you to go buy an apartment building. I want all that cash gone. Like, yeah, I know you'll buy an apartment building, it'll cash flow a little bit of money, but not enough to like pay for your lifestyle. I want that money gone. Now, I didn't care what he did with it. I just wanted him to make a good investment. Well, he did. He bought a triplex right before COVID. And separate story, that triplex has like tripled since he bought it. But the point is, for a while there, he had no cash. If he wanted to go out, he had to earn the money from his restaurant. So he dug into his restaurant. I mean, with claws out, dug in, and he started crushing it. When I started working with him, he was doing about 40 a month out of his restaurant. Now they're doing close to 40 a week. Now they're doing close to 100 a week. This is a pizzeria. It is insane. But he dug in, got his claws dirty, scratched his way out because he had to. Now, going back to the first guy I was telling you about, I'm not using names here, but going back to the first guy I was telling you about, his kids are now working in his restaurant. So it's a third generation restaurant. And while the restaurant barely makes enough money, and he's got some other investments that he lives off of, this restaurant does not make enough money, and he does not have enough investments for him and his two children to live the life that they want. So he's finally got a reason to fight now. He's got a why. He has got to get this restaurant going. He's got to get one or two more restaurants open so his kids can make a living and buy a house and raise a family the same way he did. But when he got his restaurant, it was one restaurant for him from his dad. Now he's got two kids. It's got to support him and the two kids. So I think you get the point I'm making. You need to find a big enough why. Number 3, I call this problem solution. A lot of us come up with these ideas. We see an opportunity. Maybe we can take over a restaurant cheap because they just closed down. Maybe we can buy some equipment cheap. Maybe a landlord is willing to make an investment because they've been to your restaurant. They think you're a good operator. And so they've got this other location. Like, hey, times are tough right now. I need someone in this spot. I'm going to make you a good deal to get in. Well, those are the opportunities that are going to start showing up for you. The question is, just because it's a good opportunity doesn't mean it's going to be successful. What problem are you solving? There has to be a problem and a solution for an opportunity to work. There has to be a problem and a solution. I see so many restaurant owners that come to me and say, this town doesn't have XYZ, I'm going to open it up. One example that comes to mind 10 years ago or so is, hey, I moved to Arizona from Philly. There's no good Philly cheesesteaks. I'm going to open up a Philly cheesesteak restaurant. I don't know if that's a good idea. No one's got a good cheesesteak here in town. I don't know if that's a good idea. He opens up a cheesesteak restaurant. He's closed in 6 months. Why? Because there was no problem. To him, there was a problem. There was no good cheesesteak, but he grew up eating cheesesteaks. In Arizona, they don't eat that many cheesesteaks. They're not craving it. It's not a problem. Most recently, unfortunately, I had a client who came to me who said that they just opened up this kind of medium high-end steak restaurant. Nothing fancy, but it was a steak restaurant. It was a little higher priced in this really small farming town. And the first thing I said to them is like, what's the busiest restaurant in town? And they said, Cracker Barrel. And I'm like, and what makes you think that this steak restaurant is going to do well? Oh, well, there's a lot of farmers here that have money. I'm like, well, they may have money, but I think they're enjoying eating at Cracker Barrel because that's the busiest restaurant in town. Well, sure enough, steak restaurant was closed in 3 months, right? Maybe a good concept. Maybe they had a good opportunity. That's what it was. I forgot to tell you. There was a restaurant that closed and they got the restaurant almost for free. And so they had this idea, right? An opportunity came to them, but there wasn't a problem. So let's do a quick refresh here, right? Number 1, you got to break the pattern. You've got to be able to see beyond your current circumstance. 2, you've got to have a big enough why. You got to have something to fight for. 3, you've got to provide a solution to a problem. If you can get clear on these 3 things, the rest works itself out. Don't worry about the knowledge. I don't know how to cook that kind of food. Don't worry about it. I can help you with that. There are people who can help you with that. Well, I've never done a quick service restaurant before. Don't worry about that. I can help you with that. You have to be able to see past your current circumstance. You need to have a strong enough reason why. You need to have a solution to a problem. We can figure the rest out. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I hope you take advantage of some of these opportunities that are going to start showing themselves to you. I hope you can find the gambling side of you, the risk-taking side of you, but use this formula to really minimize that risk, to give yourself the best chance of success. I'm sorry this video went long. I'm so passionate about this stuff. I love every single one of you crazy restaurant people. And remember, systems create freedom. Freedom creates value. Value creates scale. Grab a free copy of our book at therestaurantboss.com. Check out clickbacon.com so you can get daily financials faster and easier than ever before. Know your food costs, know your labor costs, know where all of your money is going. Create budgets, integrate to your POS, line item extract your invoices, all the fun, fancy stuff you want, but for your finances, and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye-bye. Make It Happen is the book I wish I had when I was operating restaurants. Inside are the lessons that took me 10 years to learn and 10 more years of teaching to perfect. I've condensed the most important lessons into this tiny book for building a big restaurant business. I am on a mission to improve restaurants all over the world. Because of that, I want to send you a free copy. Grab yours today at therestaurantboss.com.